Hey, sixth grade. Today we're going to try our notes a little bit different. I'm just going to start with a blank slate and go over a few examples with you that way. And we'll see how this works. Okay. So let's start off by putting our name and date somewhere. It doesn't really matter where. So I'll put Mr. Gillis and the date, whatever it may be today. And then I'm going to put down 2.7 notes. And my title is Multiplication Equations. Okay. So multiplication equations are going to be pretty similar to what we've been doing. We've just been working on the one steps, whether that's adding or subtracting. And let's try an example here for multiplying. Okay, so we've got example 1. Which is 5p equals 75. All right, so in this equation, I'm going to solve it a lot like I've been doing my other ones, where my very first step, I like to split my equation in two. Because remember, equations are like scales, and whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other. After I split it at the equal sign, I'm going to ask myself the very important question: what is being done to my variable, and how do I undo it? So I see that p is being multiplied by 5. So to undo that, I need to divide by 5. And when I divide by 5, I do it on the left and the right. Okay. Now in the last section, when we undid something, we got 0 on one side and we were left with our variable. In this case, 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. But remember that 1p and just p are the same exact thing. So these, I do still cancel them out because they equal 1, but that's what we're looking for. Now my variable is isolated. Okay, so then I just have to do a little bit of math and take 75 divided by 5. Okay, well, if you can't do that on top of your head, don't feel bad. Do some long division. 5 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract, I'd get 2, bring down my 5. And 5 goes into 25 5 times, which is 25. I'd have no remainder. So my quotient would be 15. Okay, p is equal to 15. Now, remember that you can double check this. Stick your solution back into the original equation. 5 times p, well, I found out p is 15, so 5 times 15. Does that equal 75? Well, let's just check. 15 times 5, 25, carry my 2, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it does. So I've checked my answer, and I came up with the correct solution. Okay, let's try another one. Let's say letter B. And I get 16 equals 8r. All right, so again, I'm going to split at the equal sign, and I'm going to ask myself the important question: what is being done to my variable, and how do I undo that? Okay, well, I see r is being multiplied by 8, so to undo that, I would divide by 8 on both sides of my equation. 8 divided by 8 is 1 r, perfect. Now I have r isolated, equals 16 divided by 8 is 2. And box my answer. Okay, so let's double check. I'll take 2, plug it back into the original equation. 8 times r, well, 8 times 2, does that give me 16? Yes, it does. We are checked. Okay, so it's It's as easy as that. It's very, very similar to adding and subtracting. Now we're just undoing multiplication by dividing because that's the inverse. Let's try a word problem here. I'll have you write down the word problem with me. It says the area of a rectangle is 56 square inches. Its length is 8 inches. What is its width? Okay, so first I like to start off when I'm dealing with word problems is I like to make them drawings because it's just, sometimes easier to visualize. So I'm going to draw myself a rectangle, and I've got, I know the area, so the area is 56 square inches. And I know the width is, I don't know I'm looking for the width. What is its width? So I'm going to put W. And its length is 8 inches. Okay, from here to here is 8 inches. All right, let's try to write an equation to see if that will help us solve this. Well, if you don't know, the area formula for a rectangle is area equals length times width. A lot of times you'll see it written just A equals LW. They're smushed together, so that means multiplied, right? And I write my L's like this because if I wrote it like this, it kind of looks like 1W, so that's kind of confusing. So I write a cursive L there. And here's my formula to find the area of a rectangle. Let's put in the information that I know. I know my area is 56, so I'll just substitute 56 for A, equals. I also know my length is 8 inches, and times W, I'm looking for my width. Now I've got a equation that's very similar to what we were just doing. I'll split it at the equal sign. 8 is being, or W is being multiplied by 8. So to undo that, I would divide by 8 on both sides. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1W, perfect. It's isolated. 56 divided by 8 will give me 7. So the width would be 7 inches. Okay. So there you have it. That's the examples that I wanted to show you for this section. Next up, let me see if I can add a page here. Oh, I guess I'm just sliding everything down a little bit, which is okay. I'll come right back up here. I want you to try a few of the check it outs and see if you're understanding it on your own. So here's the first check it out is 8A equals 72. Okay, this is the check it out. And letter B, let's do another one. Let's do one similar to that word problem. So area of a rectangle is 48 square inches. Its width is 6 inches. What is its length? Okay, so I see that I'm winding down on time here. Why don't you pause the video and try these two out on your own, and then we'll come back to make sure to see you got the right answer. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to try these ones out, and let's see if you came up with the correct answers. So split it at the equal sign. This is saying 8 times what number gives you 72. Again, ask yourself the question, what's being done to my variable, and how can I undo that? So it's being multiplied by 8, so I'll divide by 8 on both sides. cancels, 1a equals, and 72 divided by 8 would give us a total of 9. And the last one, area equals length times width. I know my area is 48 equals my length I don't know times my width is 6. Okay, what's being done to L? It's being multiplied by 6, so I divide by 6 on both sides. And L is all alone or isolated now. And 48 divided by 6, well, 6 times 8 is 48. So my length would be 8 and inches for a label. Okay? So hopefully you did all right on those. Now, last thing I'd like for you to do today is to go to your online textbook and look at the video tutorials that the book does and write those ones down and include those in your notes. So let me just show you here quickly. Remember that if you go to your online textbook, it'll look something like this. Click chapter 2 and let's go to, it will be 2.7 multiplication equations. And if I go to the book pages, okay, here's what the book pages look like. Here are these 2 example tutorials. I'd like for you to click on those, watch them, and also take notes on them and add them to this note sheet that you've already made. Okay. Let me know after you've done that what you thought of doing the notes this way, just with a blank slate, if that works for you. Maybe you have more room, maybe you like it better in the note sheet. Give me some feedback. As always, good luck on your homework when you get there, and we will see you next time.